Hey guys, I don't know if I'm going to turn this into like a series or whatnot. I might, kind of doing like some different steps, but this was kind of another step that I kind of wanted to do in my series about traveling full time, and it's the 3 bucket system. I'm going to be going for my run here, but I just wanted to kind of cover it a little bit. So this is Saigon, Vietnam, for those of you guys that are new to my stream. And this is how you cross the street. The traffic's not too bad right now, but it really piles up at certain times. You can kind of see it picking up over there. But this is kind of what I've had in my thoughts as far as like looking at some different things. Like we've seen right now, like arbitraging has blown up, where it's gone up, what, like over $1 in the last 12 hours, 24 hours, and it really has potential to do really well. If you're just in like the A-bot and arbitraging, you're not feeling that appreciation of that coin because, you know, all of your funds would be in arbitraging, right? So it is a good idea to hold some of the tokens or some of the coins. And so what's kind of a good strategy, and one of the things I've kind of done is I've broken it up into 3 different systems. So spending, saving, and investing. And I put an article in the description below that kind of goes over. This is still in session. Hello. I put an article. Hello. I put an article in the description below, and it kind of goes over this general concept of kind of the 3 bucket, you know, wealth management system. And really all it is kind of dividing up what you're doing into 3 categories. And so the one, and it kind of ends up becoming like a budget system, is like the spending. So if you know that you're only spending, you know, 1/3 of whatever you have coming in from, you know, say something like the A-bot, then you have some leeway to kind of pick up some of the coins or the tokens. And that's kind of the strategy that I've been devising with some of the platforms that I've been in that have been performing pretty well right now. And so when you see like a price rise or appreciation of the coin, that might be a good time to maybe perhaps get in the move some funds over the A-bot and kind of balance out what you're doing. And so that's kind of my general theory of kind of how I'm going to be approaching. It's kind of a very balanced way of kind of looking at things, and it's, I think, like a good foundation. So this is the field I run on, and so I'm going to be doing some sprints here. And so I don't really warm up. I just kind of jump into it. So I was out here like about, say, like 2-3 weeks ago, maybe it was about 2 weeks ago, and I pulled my hamstring, or I just kind of heard it, like you feel it twinge a little bit. So I haven't been able to run for a little while. I'm kind of running on the treadmill, but it's not the same. So put on some weight. It's been eating like crap. But anyways, let me check on the chat a little bit. Clover's a unicorn over there. That's funny. The arbitraging crew in Vegas. So I give myself plenty of rest, allow myself to catch my breath, and then I just kind of roll into these one after the other. And I've been doing like a workout series before, and so I think I want to tie some of those together, where I get into the gym a little bit and kind of give some of my background with training. The 3-bucket system is just a very simplistic, basic way of kind of looking at maybe some of these platforms that we're in, or at least it's the strategy that I'm doing. Because I've had several people reach out to me lately and just kind of asking a little bit more, you know, like strategy wise, like, you know, hey, what do you think is a good play? Especially since I haven't been making videos lately, or as many videos. So that was really kind of what came to mind, and I started doing more research on it, because this has kind of been the theory I've been kind of instinctually doing a little bit, though I'm holding a lot of ARB is the only difference. So I'm happy today. Well, my hamstring's feeling better. Haven't felt it get a little twingy yet. But I'm gonna make this workout kind of short, so I don't do anything to really tweak my hamstring again. So I'm gonna run a few more sprints. But if you guys got questions, I'm kind of looking at what are some of the other steps one would need to take to really kind of create a good solid foundation for traveling. You know, is if you have like an income stream or income source where you're not tied to a physical location, you know, it opens up a lot of possibilities. So the savings bucket is generally considered a 3 to 10 year investment in something, you know, that's probably your safest investment. So that's a little bit different than, you know, this traditional model that you're looking at with cryptocurrency, because, you know, some would argue that maybe having funds in the A-bot or something like that is, you know, kind of one of the safest plays right now, especially with the bear market as it is. But it's still a lot of risk in crypto. Anything can happen, and that's why diversification and getting into some different platforms is good. There might be some advantages or benefits to that. For instance, NovaChain is, you know, has been performing a lot better than Arbitraging lately, and it's kind of become like the number 2 in terms of like market capitalization and adoption. Though Dropple is, you know, is a top 100 coin market cap coin and project, so it just doesn't quite have, maybe some of the same rates of return, but it's a different type of project that, you know, it's definitely one you should be looking at adding. Now the investment bucket is kind of the way, you know, you're interpreting like the investment bucket in the 3-bucket wealth management system is, you know, if you're tying this to kind of the concept I'm talking about with the tokens and holding in whatever kind of lending element or platform that is, you know, apparent in a particular project, you know, like the token appreciation is one way of capturing that. If you feel like there's, you know, it's a good time to maybe sell at the top after a little bit of a bull run, say like we just saw, you know, there's other projects to probably get into. So it's more of a short-term way of, you know, kind of increasing your crypto. And there's a lot of different strategies you can do in that. I think one of the downfalls and dangers is when you get too into that, and you know, there's risk, and sometimes things go wrong, and you want to have you know, a little bit of a safety net. And so that's why I think kind of looking at things from a larger perspective and looking at, you know, how you should be kind of looking at these different things. But if you get to a point where 33% of your spending is your spending budget, and that starts getting up to, you know, even just say like, you know, between $50 and $100, you know, people can live on that. Like, I talked to a guy in India, and you know, you know, we were talking quite a bit about that, and it's like, how much money do you need to make to be comfortable, you know, so that, you know, everything's taken care of, at least financially. He was like 50 to 55 bucks like a day. That's, you know, it's not much. And so that's not you know, an unattainable goal in something like arbitraging, like putting in, you know, probably maybe between 6,000 and 7,000 with the 0.7-0.8% daily interest rate would roughly get you there. So, you know, maybe around 5,000 with Nova Chain, maybe a little bit more with Dropple. So all of a sudden you have an account that's making you, you know, that interest rate. Now, if you want to use that as your spending, then you need to triple it. So you need to be having funds that you're also investing into tokens, investing in these different projects, and diversifying into to other projects. Check on the chat. Running from the threads. Hello. Hello.
Hello. Oh.
I just like being on camera.
What's your name?
Clover.
Oh, I put it up.
Yeah.
Oh.
What do you think about BitTube as a replacement for YouTube? Yeah, I'd be willing to get into that. I think DTube has more adoption, but like those platforms, there needs to be one that is, you know, not, you're seeing kind of the clampdowns with like platforms like Twitter, Facebook, YouTube that are censoring people. And, you know, some of these other YouTube or video style platforms would be a solution to that problem. However, it's just the adoption's so low. Like the market right now is in YouTube. with that backpack on your back. Now he's running off. So yeah, real simple. That's my 3 bucket system. So I think simplicity, and just, if nothing else, if you can kind of maintain some of those ratios, you have a good day in the coin. If you have a good day, you know, maybe on a smaller scale with the you know, the lending element, maybe you disperse that out a little bit more into your spending, and whenever you're not spending or excess, you know, you can perhaps create a smaller account for, you know, something else. You know, I'm kind of looking at some different things, like, you know, a very small investment kind of takes care of some things for long term, if you're kind of looking at things that way. So I'm been selling a lot of my stuff. That's kind of, I guess, where that's coming from. My goal with ARB is to recruit my 33K loss through BCC, Ether Link, and Boba chain. Yeah, the one strategy I also mentioned is potentially like starting with a smaller investment. Say, you know, say you bought $2,000 worth of ARB a month ago, you know, back, you know, when I've really been saying it's a great buy at $2. Like, this is a great time to pick this up after we had just seen an initial pump. You hold the coin and you can hold the token, and when you see a little bit of a plateau in price, that might be a good time to kind of reassess things. But, you know, had you bought in at 2,000, held that token, so now it's like, what, almost $8? So it's 4x'd. So you take a $2,000 investment that would have been, you know, not paying you as much, now you're at 8,000. It's a big difference there, and that's why, like, you know, holding the token is a very good strategy. Bit2 protects copyright content. Yeah, like that's kind of one of the things, like if you're playing music, say, that's copyrighted, I mean, ideally it almost needs to be a platform where you could even do that and not be censored. Like a you know, Napster 2.0, a Kazaa. A lot of people were finding ways around, you know, these copyright situations, and it's kind of now at a level with video, YouTube, and playing that copyrighted content. They've got some pretty advanced algorithms though. I mean, it picks it up quick too. Like, did that one time with YouTube where I think I went in there and like tested a song or something. It didn't take very long for it to like recognize it. And they just like kind of, you know, the way they were able to assess and process information in this day and age, it's pretty amazing. Last one. That's my workout. I might stretch if I'm a little tight, but everything is motorbikes here. And so that's going to be one of the cool things about traveling, is kind of documenting the day-to-day life and all these different places I want to go. There's a popo. That's how they ride around. 2 cops on a bike. And I got pulled over at like really late at night, like 2 a.m. or something. And I was like running a red light. There was like no one around. I didn't know, couldn't see anything, but they just pull up right next to you and they kind of wave you over. They got a little baton, like, I'm gonna beat your ass if you don't stop. Like, I mean, they kind of don't play. Like, they're kind of stern at first, but, and then finally, you know, I'm like, no say, like, I can't talk to him or whatever, and finally they're just like, money. So I give him 200,000 dong. They went away. It's like $9. So this is crossing the street. You can see all the traffic down there. And then this is this beautiful park I like to go to. It's too hot right now. It's kind of the middle of the day. But like early in the morning, there's a lot of people out here. Like a lot of older people kind of working out. They got these different little machines and stuff. What kind of dance classes they hold in these little kind of roofed areas over here. A lot of diversity. There's a lot of really cool things. There's like this really cool water park. You can't really see it in the back button there. We'll hodl till 50. Yeah, I think initially, like when I got into arbitraging, like I kind of went in big. Like I think I put in like 10 grand, but, or somewhere around there in Ethereum. And then I think like, you know, I was in the A-bot and it went up, and when it crossed over, you know, $1, it really started shooting up. And so I pulled out at like $1.50 and then kind of rode that up to $4. And then I was like, well, when it crashed, I was like, I'm not selling these prices. So I've been holding ARB that entire time. I've just been holding all my ARB. I had nothing in the A-bot. So now I'm finally kind of reaping the benefits of that. So and that's kind of a lesson for people. Like, you know, sometimes it may take, you know, 5-6 months of hodling to, you know, kind of see something through. Now I probably could have, you know, sold the top or something and then liquidated some of those funds and used some of that. And that's where my 3 bucket system, I feel like, comes into play, where had I, you know, maybe had a little bit more of an even distribution, you know, when the price came back down, getting back in the A-bot, you know, it would have been a little bit of a different situation for me. But that's, I think, you know, something to keep in the back of your mind. But anyways, that's it for me. Appreciate y'all staying online. Catch you on the next one.